Yogis. Thanks for joining me again today. Happy to be here. Let's get started. This will be about an hour. Nice gentle flow. So hopefully we'll open the whole body, get any little kinks out, and feel great for the rest of the day. How's that? So go ahead and find your seat. You can sit on a block, a blanket, or just in your easy Sukhasana, easy pose. I'm going to close the eyes down. You can soften your gaze or close the eyes. And start to lengthen the breath. So maybe you can make a little constriction in the back of the throat to slow the breath down. Engaging your Ujjayi breath if you have that. If not, just watch the breath come and go. And start to notice the places where you're holding tension, where the breath gets stuck. See if you can breathe through that. Let's go ahead and take the fingertips to the floor, either sides of your hips. Get a nice tall seat, pull the waist in, lengthen through the sides. And then we'll extend the arms around and up. Inhale as the hands come together. Exhale, hands in prayer. Inhale the arms around and up. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reach through the fingertips, nice active hands. Exhale. Hold here for a couple of breaths. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, go ahead and do that now. And then we'll relax the fingertips down to the floor. We're going to extend the left arm out to the left. Take a couple of breaths here, feeling a little opening in the shoulder, maybe the armpit. And then nice and easy, rainbow up and over. You can press into the floor for support, but also as if you could press length into this left side. So using that resistance. And then see if you can look up under that left arm towards the sky. Maybe open the chest towards the sky a little more. Getting lots of little pops and releases. Any little movement that feels good here. But mostly just letting gravity and the breath help you. Inhale to come up and we'll switch sides. So extend the right arm out to the right. Take a couple of breaths here, just feeling into that stretch in the armpit. Maybe the bicep. And then nice and easy up and over. Keeping the chest open. Seeing if you can turn it up towards the sky. And then breathing into this right shoulder, side body, and maybe using this supporting hand to press more length. Only if it feels good. If you'd like to come all the way down onto the elbow and you have that available, you can do that. Get a nice little rest. Really reach for those fingertips. So I'm getting a stretch from my fingertips all the way down through this right hip. One more deep breath, open up towards the sky a little more. And soften and bend. And your next inhale, come on up. We take some neck stretches here. So find your nice tall seat and then just tilt the right ear towards the right shoulder. Breathing deeply. And just noticing where you're feeling this stretch. And maybe start to breathe into that space where you're feeling that. Maybe take the chin slightly forward now to bring it a little closer to the back of the neck. And if you like a little movement here, maybe rocking forward and back to coax an opening. And let's go to the other side. So bring the left ear towards the left shoulder. Getting a nice stretch, letting gravity and the breath help you here. And then we'll take the chin forward gently, just as if you were drawing it towards your armpit. And that's lots of nice little pops right back here. If you like to bring the chin slightly forward and back, if that feels good. And we're going to take this into some full neck circles if you feel to join me. So inhale here. And we're just going to start by exhaling and circling down through center. Chin to chest, rolling through to the other side. Right ear towards right shoulder here. Deep inhale, and on the exhale, circle down. So notice all the little spaces and places as you pass through them. Inhale here. Exhale, circle through. If you'd like to pick up the pace with me, inhale here. And exhale, circle down through center. Inhale. And exhale. And then if you would like to open this up for some full circles, go ahead and do that. If that does not feel good to you, then just continue side to side. We'll have enough time to take a couple of full circles each direction. And then reverse it. And that feels so good. So maybe finish off just having the chin coming towards the chest here. Shoulder blades are still grounding down the back. Seat is still nice and tall, so the spine is still tall. Just stretching in the back of the neck. And then gently lift the chin. Very nice. From here we're going to circle the spine. So starting to warm up the spine gently. Just feeling into what's happening for you today. Noticing any spaces of tightness or whatever you might have happening. Reverse the direction. And then finding your way back to center, long, tall, neutral spine. We're going to press the chest forward, so maybe take your fingertips to the knees and use them to press the chest forward. Maybe look up. If that feels okay on the neck, exhale, round. Bring the chin to the chest and the belly to the spine. Inhale. Maybe reach the elbows back slightly. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, round. Chin to chest. Inhale, lift the chest and hold here. Let's take the hands behind the low back, clasp, and then see if you can draw, or we're pulling the hands away, but also drawing them down. Deep breath here. And that feels so good. Let's come down around onto our hands and knees together into a child's pose. And press the hips back towards the heels. Walk the hands forward to a comfortable degree. And then just letting the breath do most of the work for you here. You can roll the forehead or the hips side to side if that feels good. We'll connect to the breath here. So take about 3 long deep breaths with me here. Inhaling through the nose. And on an inhale, come up halfway, look at your fingertips. We're going to walk the hands over to the left. Reach the hands to the left and the hips to the right. Just gently pushing them further away from your fingertips. Breathing deeply. And on an inhale, looking up at your fingertips, bringing the hips back to center. Walk the hands over to the right and stretch the hips to the left. Let's take one more deep breath here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. And then on an inhale, coming up halfway, walking the hands back. Now really walk the fingertips out. Maybe come up onto the fingertips. Drop the forehead to the floor if you can. Nice active child's pose. Getting a stretch in the shoulders, the armpit. And then we'll press ourselves up to tabletop. Let's take a few cat-cows here, just because we can. So spread the fingers nice and wide. Check that your wrists are under your shoulders, and check that your knees are under your hips. Ooh, I just got a nice weird knee thing. So from here, we're going to just drop the belly, curl the tailbone up, pull your palms towards you, like you're reaching the chest forward, and then exhale, press the ground away, chin to chest, belly to spine, spine towards the sky. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. One more of each. Inhale. And exhale, really press the ground away, chin to chest. And then inhale back to tabletop. From here, we're going to thread the needle. So we're going to take this left arm up. But while you have it up, just feel into this twist a little bit. And see if you can find a little more space in that left shoulder. And then exhale, threading it under the right arm, setting the left shoulder down. And then maybe come up onto your right fingertips. See if you can turn the head a little more. Breathe deeply. Let gravity help you sink into the floor a little on this left shoulder. One more deep breath. And then we'll press the right hand to bring us back up, tabletop. And then inhale the right arm up. Hold for a couple of breaths here. Stretching into the shoulder, just finding some space there. Breathe. And then one more inhale. And exhale, thread it under. Let that right shoulder come towards the left knee, coming up onto the left fingertips, so that maybe you can turn the head a little more. Look up under that left arm. Soften into the right shoulder. Deep breaths here. One more deep breath. And exhale, press into the left palm to bring you back up. Tidy your tabletop, so just making sure fingers are spread wide and their toes are tucked for now for stability. If you like them untucked and don't need that, that's perfectly fine. We're going to take spinal extension here though, so I like a little extra balance, everything I can get. So reaching the right arm forward, keep the shoulders and the hips level as you can, and then inhale, extend that left leg behind you. Deep breaths here. See if you can level the hips by turning the toes in and dropping that left hip a little. Inhale, really reach the fingertips away from that left heel. Foot is flexed. And lift a little more. Exhale, round. Draw the right elbow towards the left knee. Inhale, reach. Exhale, round and draw it in. Inhale, reach. Just staring down at the mat. Exhale, round and reach. And then re-extend. And then plant the palm. Plant the knee. Let's sweep through child's pose. And connect to the breath here. And then inhale up to tabletop. And make any adjustments you need to make. We'll extend the left arm forward. And inhale the right leg behind you. Deep breaths here. Press that right heel back. Reach the left fingertips forward. So don't come out of this left shoulder socket though. Have the shoulder plugged in, but then really reach those active fingertips forward. Inhale here, maybe lift a little more. Exhale, round. Left elbow to right knee. Inhale, really reach. Exhale, round. Inhale, really reach. Exhale, round. And then one last time, reach and extend before planting the palm and the knee. And press back to a well-deserved child's pose. Breathe here. Let's take 5 deep breaths. Just connect the breath and soften the hips and the shoulders. Then we'll inhale back up to tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes and press into the toe mound. Lift the knees, lift the hips up and back. Find a downward facing dog. But we're going to keep it kind of loose. So maybe take the feet a little wider. Even the palms can be a little wider. And then we're going to kind of draw a circle with the body. So leading with the shoulders and coming through the feet. So there's no wrong or right way to do this. I'm just kind of pressing into the corners of the body to find space there. So shoulders, ankles, kind of just feeling around. If this is too much for you, you can take the knees down. In fact, let's all take the knees down and take a couple circles there. And then we'll go the other way. And then press back up to downward facing dog. And then bring the feet hips width distance apart. And stretch the hips up and back. You can pedal into the feet. You can sway the hips a little side to side, warming up that IT band. And then we're going to put a big bend in the knees. Come high on the toes, big bend in the knees, and just let the heels fall to the right a little. So keep yourself nice and stable here, really pressing into this right palm, but the stretch is all along the left side of the body. Breathe through this. Inhale back to center, and keeping that bend in the knees, sway the heels to the left, stretching through the right side body. Deep breaths. And then inhale Inhale back to your downward facing dog. Pedal the feet out a little bit here, bending the knees. So come high on the right toes, bend the right knee, and stretch the left heel towards the floor. And then come high on the left toes, bend the left knee, stretch the right heel towards the floor, and switch. Keep the sitting bones aiming up towards the sky. We're going to inhale, come forward, roll down to hands and knees. Inhale here, and then exhale, dive the chest down between the palms. Release the feet to the floor. Roll the shoulder blades together on the back. So Cobra pose. I'm going to make a little adjustment here, but my elbows are squeezing into my ribs. And the hips press towards the floor. Legs and feet actively press towards the floor. Let's come down, take a little break. And then we're going to take the fingertips wide off the mat. So you can make sure your feet are just extending straight back. We're going to roll the shoulder blades together and come up to a high cobra. And we're going to dip the right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, dip the left shoulder. Inhale back. Plant the palms underneath the shoulders. And then we'll come up for one more cobra. And then press back through hands and knees to your child's pose. Rest here. And then we'll press up to tabletop. And tuck the toes, lift the knees, find downward facing dog. And make any little movements that feel good. And we're going to lift the right leg up and back behind us. Toes point down, foot is flexed. See if you can soften that left heel towards the floor a little. Inhale here. And exhale. Inhale one more time. Reach to that heel. And exhale, softening down to the earth with that foot. And then maybe take a couple pedals here. And ground back into your downward facing dog. We'll lift the left leg up and back. Flex that foot, point the toes down. Turn the toes in slightly to level the hips. And just press the foot away. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe soften that right heel towards the floor. Inhale. Reach it. Maybe come up a little more. And then exhale. Release it down. We're going to tippy toe walk to the top of the mat. Finding a forward fold. So maybe you bend the knees here and just kind of hang out. If you can't quite reach the floor, find something to support you. So blocks, books, pillows, bolsters. We're going to hang out here. So if you want to grab opposite elbows and sway side to side. Just getting a nice juicy stretch. Let's sway to the right and to the left. Release the hands, maybe lift the shoulder heads so they're not hanging down to your ears. We're going to take a nice little swing, roll up, and find your way to Tadasana Mountain Pose. So roll the shoulder blades down the back, pull the low belly in, tuck the tailbone, palms shine forward, and then soften a little. Deep breaths. Feeling the energy moving in the body. And from here, I'm going to come to face you. So we are going to ground into your feet. And then find some evenness here. Little tiny bend in the knees so you're not locking out the knees. Ground into your right foot, lift the left knee. Squeeze it into the chest if you can. And don't worry if you're rocking and wobbling all over the place. Perfectly normal thing to do when you're standing on one foot, yes? So breathe. And find a gazing spot. So find your drishti. If you'd like to take this further, you can take the right hand to the low back and see if you can grab the outside of that right foot with the left hand. Extending the leg, and then maybe reach the right hand behind you. If this is too much for you, you can just still be holding that knee into the chest. And come back to center and release that down. So if you just stand here and hold the knee the whole time, coming up and down and balancing and wobbling, that's perfectly fine. That's where you need to be. So holding that, and then if you can squeeze it in and get a little bit of that hip compression that feels so good. Go ahead and do that. And take the left hand to the low back this time. And reaching the foot, extending the leg. Maybe reach the left hand behind you. The low belly pulling in and breathe. Whew. And then when you're ready, come back to center. We're going to step the feet wide and bend into the knees. So finding a goddess pose. Make sure that your knees and toes are tracking in the same direction. And don't come down further than you need to be. Because when you tuck that tailbone, you can feel the tightness in the front of all that, front of your hips, front of your core. Okay, and then maybe soften, find your stretch. We're going to inhale the arms around and up, look up, exhale, hands in prayer, bend the knees. Inhale, straighten into the legs, reach the arms up, exhale. Bend the knees. Inhale, reach and stretch. Exhale, bend. Inhale, reach around. Exhale, hands in prayer. We'll take the hands to the thighs, thumb space in. Inhale here, exhale. Bring that right shoulder in, left shoulder opens. Couple breaths here. Inhale back to center. Bring the left shoulder in, right shoulder opens. Couple breaths here. And inhale back to center. Take the hands in prayer. We're going to take a little pulses here. So keep the glutes squeezing, working the inner thighs. Nice. And then we'll heel toe the feet towards each other. We're going to take a wide leg chair, sinking into the heels. And imagine at first that you're just holding onto a bar. So sinking the hips down and keeping that openness in the chest and upper body, and then little pulses here. Breathe. So we're feeling this, we're just moving this into the hips like your little wooden puppet, Pinocchio. He has those little hingy joints. And then sink the heels, and if you're able to come down to Malasana from here, go ahead and do that. If not, if you need to come down to a seat and then find your way into Malasana, that's fine too. We'll all meet here. Be here for about 5 deep breaths. So extend the crown of the head up towards the sky. Let the hips soften towards the earth. Maybe press the knees open. Anjali Mudra in the heart space. Breathe deeply. If you need support here, if you need to be seated on some blocks or pillows, go ahead and do that. And we're all going to release down to the floor. But then come to your tabletop. Come back to hands and knees pose. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, find your downward facing dog. And breathe. Notice if you're feeling a little more space in the hips. I sure am. Nice and warmed up. Maybe sway side to side or any little movements that feel good here. Couple grounding breaths. We're going to lift the right leg up and back, bend the knee, open the hip. So the right hip is stacked on top of the left. And your right heel starts to come towards your left bum. Try and keep the shoulders steady and stable. So not opening the right shoulder. But lift the knee. And then square the hips. Re-extend the leg. And exhale, bring the knee into the chest. If this is too much for you and you need to have the knees down for this, that's fine. But we're just going to step it through and set the left knee down. Finding our crescent pose. So, reaching the fingertips up towards the sky. Shoulder blades plug down the back. Gentle tuck to the tailbone, but really you can accomplish that just by pulling the low belly in. Deep breaths here. One more inhale. Maybe look up, stretch up, exhale. Plant this left palm on the inside of the right foot. Reach your right arm up for a twist. Take a couple deep breaths here. One more inhale, we're going to circle it. So circle it forward, down, back, and up. Opening up that shoulder a little more. Inhale as you come up, exhale to circle through. And let's go the other way. Last one, open right back up, hold here. And exhale. Bring the palm down, frame the foot. We're going to heel toe the foot towards center and maybe crawl it forward to make space for Ardha Manasana. And see if you can swivel that right hip back, left hip forward. And we don't have to come down very far to feel this stretch. Nice deep breaths. Keep a slight bend in the knees so you're not locking the joint. And then inhale one more time. Exhale, step into that right foot. Step into the left foot, lift the left knee. Step the right foot behind you. And we're going to go through a flow here. So either drop the knees and go through knees, chest, chin. Or lower down, chaturanga. Inhale up to cobra or up dog. Exhale, press back to child's pose. Breathe here. And then we'll inhale back up to tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, find your downward facing dog. Press the chest toward the thighs. Pedal the feet out, find what feels good here. Maybe let the shoulders drop a little closer to the floor. Stretching the armpits and the shoulders and the neck. And then we'll prepare to lift the left leg up and back behind us. And then bend that knee, stack the left hip over the right. The left heel comes towards the right glute. See if you can keep your shoulders even, so not opening up to the left. But maybe lift that left knee a little more. And then square the hips, re-extend the leg back behind you. And then on the exhale, draw it into the chest. And see if you can step it through. We'll set the right knee down. Find crescent pose. So just growing the size of the waist. I do all these little habitual things. I take the hands clasped and reach them up. Just kind of helps me to, if I don't have the opening yet, get them reaching up there. And then so the shoulder blades are driving down the back, lifting the chest towards the sky. Inhale. One more. Inhale again. And exhale, plant the right palm on the inside of the left foot. Left arm comes up for your twist here. Take a couple of breaths here before circling through. So inhale and then exhale. Inhale here and then exhale, circle it forward, down, back, and up. Inhale as you come through. And then go the other way. Inhale, exhale. And hold here for a couple breaths. Maybe let that arm drape behind you, finding a little more space. And then exhale, bring that left palm to the floor. We're going to heel toe our foot forward before pulling the toes towards us for half splits pose, Ardha Hanumanasana. This right hip kind of swivels forward. That will increase the stretch. Keep the low belly pulling in. Long, deep breaths here. One more inhale. Exhale, step into that foot, plant the hands, lift the right knee, step the left foot back to meet the right. Either lower your knees or lower down. Chaturanga, inhale to cobra or up dog. Exhale, press back, child's pose. Rest here. And then from here, we're going to press, we're just going to find our way to a seat. We'll take the feet wide, ground through the sitting bones, and get nice and tall before walking it forward. Keep the spine nice and long, crown of the head just reaches in front of you. And the legs lightly activated, so pulling the toes towards you, knees aiming up towards the sky. Long, deep breaths here. much you can relax into this stretch. Let go of any gripping. Soften the forehead, the jaw. Relax your shoulders. Relax the neck. Couple more breaths here. And then on an inhale, look forward, pull the belly in, press yourself up. Hold on 1 second. And now we're going to turn I'm going to turn. You're going to send that left leg forward, right foot comes to the inside of that left thigh. Left hand behind you. Help you get nice and tall. Let's take the right arm up. Inhale and then exhale, coming to the outside of that left foot. So a little twist here in the low back. And deep breaths. So in these longer holds, we get to stretch down into some of the connective tissue. It takes a little longer to release. It also takes a little longer to retract back. So that's why sometimes after these yin stretches, you might feel a little stiff. Perfectly normal. And on an inhale, look at your toes, pull the belly in, come on up. And we'll switch sides, so extend the right leg, left foot to the inside of that right thigh. Avoid the knee, please. And then a little tripod with your right hand, like a kickstand. Outside your right hip, left arm comes up. And then diving forward, hinging at the hips. And then when you find that natural place of resistance, you can soften and round down. Deep breaths in and out through the nose to let your body know that it's okay to release. One more deep inhale here. Fill the belly and the lungs. Exhale, soften, a little more, let go. And your next inhale, lift your toes, pull your belly in and come on up. We're going to come down around onto our hands and knees, we're going to come down onto our backs and pull the knees in. And we can rock and roll side to side. A little back massage. Let's take a hold of our knees here. And we're going to circle them to the right and then forward, to the left, and then towards to. Just releasing the low back and the hips. See if you'd like to go the other way, so left and forward and right, in. And then holding the knees in again. Give them a really nice squeeze. Maybe bring the nose to the knees. Release it back down. We're going to hold onto the right knee, send the left leg long. Squeeze that right knee into the chest. If you like to rock it a little side to side, opening that hip. You feel really good. And then we're going to open that knee out to the right. So bringing it in, bringing the stretch into that inner thigh and groin. I like to keep my left hand on my left hip to keep it grounding down towards the mat. So it doesn't get any ideas. Try and pop up. And then from here, we're going to take a little twist. So right arm comes out to the right. I'm going to shift my hips to the right. And then my right knee comes over to the left. Give yourself some time to settle here. So let gravity help you, let the breath help you. You might like, sometimes I like, if I'm not very flexy, I like to take this right foot to the back of the left knee. Kind of gives it a little place to hook. Then it can help it find the earth, but don't force anything, please. And soften here. Relax the face, the jaw, the forehead. Relax your shoulders, relax your hands. Loosen up a little more. And then return back to center, bring both knees in. Give them a squeeze. And then hold on to the left knee, extend the right leg long. And then those little movements, squeeze the knee into the chest, anything that feels good. I'll just take a little to the right, a little to the left. And then get a little hip compression, so really squeeze. And then we're going to open it out to the left, so I take my right hand on my right hip here. Really draw that left knee up towards your left shoulder if you can. And then we're going to twist the left knee over. So I like to kind of shift my hips to the left, and the left knee comes over to the right. I'll hook my left foot on the back of the right knee and use my hand to help find a stretch. A lot tighter on this side. It's pretty common to be tighter on one side than the other. Yoga helps us to find those places of imbalance, just to acknowledge them. We're not going to try and cure them, but the awareness is its own path. Soften into the earth, let gravity help you here. And we'll come back to center. Ooh, give the knees one last squeeze. Maybe rock and roll a little more side to side. And we're going to take a little happy baby. So maybe grab your ankles if you can and draw the knees down towards the armpits or grab the outside of those feet. And pull the knees towards the floor, low back, pressing into the floor, so not letting that pop up. Deep breaths here. You can even rock out like a baby here. One last squeeze towards the armpits. And any other moves that you're going in for a Shavasana. Maybe draw the shoulder blades underneath you, let the palms face up, let the feet flop open, take up as much space as you need, and soften in, and just let go. I'll leave you here. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. Thank you for joining me today.